Hello everybody, welcome to my very first YouTube channel video. And today we're going to be debating some Christians and some Islams about Christianity and kind of giving my own opinions about it. Without further ado, we're going to be debating a Muslim right now. So what's your thought process on Jesus? Or just your thoughts on Jesus, sorry.
Yeah, he's a prophet of God. He's the Messiah. He was born of a miraculous birth. He's going to return. We don't believe he was crucified or killed.
When I bring up the topic of Jesus to Islamic people, they always like to say, like, yeah, that he was just a prophet. And so does that mean that everything that Jesus taught, right, if he was just a prophet and he wasn't, the Son of God, as Daniel describes him, what was he then? If he was just a prophet, then his entire teachings would be worthless, and like everything he said he wasn't.
What do you mean? Let him explain.
So if you're confused on like what I meant by saying that his teachings were completely worthless, I'm going to explain them to you real quick. So basically, from a Christian standpoint, Jesus cannot just be a prophet, because if he was only a prophet, then the scriptures don't carry out divine authority, which then would not make Christianity a recognized religion. But prophets are people who speak for God. They have to say, "Thus says the Lord," like specifically quoting God. But Jesus says, "But I say to you," in Matthew 5:22, which means he's claiming to be God, which contributes why he died by crucifixion. False prophets are people who falsely claim divine authority. It would make Jesus a false prophet if he wasn't the Son of Man. Basically, his teachings wouldn't be worth to follow if he was just a prophet.
I think I can agree to Son of God in a symbolic way. I have no problem with agreeing to, if people called each other, they called, for example, Allah, right? They called him Father back then. I have no problem with this, right? Because this was back then, it was a different time norm. If he was called the Son of God symbolically, we wouldn't really have a problem with this. We don't take it as a literal Son of God where he is literally ontologically the same as the Father, right?
And
the Father.
And Daniel calls him the Son of Man, which was used
Daniel 7, right? That Son of Man.
Yeah.
No problem. There's a lot of things.
What he's referring to here is saying that Jesus is Son of God, basically saying that, well, there's not really any correlation there because all of us are Son of God. But then he brings up Daniel chapter 7, and you can see what he says here.
Regarding the Son of Man things, right? For example, scholars who've been working on the Q Gospel, right? Studying its, like, where it's come from, what it is, the hypothetical source. A lot of them do end up saying that the Son of Man ideology, right, is a tradition that was later applied to Jesus, but it wasn't originally for him.
He brings up a very good point that some scholars argue that the title of Son of Man was a Jewish tradition that existed before Jesus and was only applied to him later. There is one fallacy because of the Son of Man argument. The Son of Man argument is that Jesus always used the title of Son of Man for himself, often speaking in the third person, which is important because if it was just a later invention, it doesn't make any sense why the early church would preserve a title that was confusing or dangerous. So yes, the Son of Man existed in Jewish tradition, but Jesus deliberately used it to reveal who he was. The title proves Jesus wasn't just interpreted by the church, but he actually fulfilled it. So, what are your thoughts on the Trinity?
The Trinity is a God that you guys believe in, which is fine, 3 in 1. Personally, I see it as not something to be like. It's not something that seems like very logical to me. Again, like I said, I don't want to get into it, but a lot of people will find ways to make it logical, right? For example, if I mention the laws of transitivity, they'll mention numerical or numerical identity, relative identity. They'll mention energy, essence, distinction. Well, it depends on the Christian itself, right? Some Orthodox hold to Gregory of Palamas, who holds to EED, which is energy, essence, distinction. Some people like Thomas, right, who are from the Catholic point of view, like from St. Thomas Aquinas, they hold to different sorts of like DS. They don't really hold to ADS. Some Christians will hold to ADS. Some hold them. I know it's blasphemy, right, from our paradigm, but some people hold to DS. We as Muslims don't see it like that. We as Muslims see it as like sort of a polytheistic thing. I'd say it's blasphemy, yeah, like Mr. Pierce said, but again, this is from our paradigm. Go on. Yes.
So you see it as more as like a polytheism way of looking at it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Not to be rude, of course.
No, yeah. Obviously I disagree. I think that it's not, but I mean,
it's not polytheism, right?
It's not. It's one.
Yeah.
A lot of people get confused on the topic of the Trinity, because it's like, well, actually there's a thing, it's called tritheism, which is the confusion of the Trinity. It just basically where you view it as a polytheistic way. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope if you do enjoy, please make sure to subscribe if you want more about faith talking. And thank you guys so much for watching my first video. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.